Hey sports fans, this is Straight from the Basement with Tommy Ommy. I'm a sports fan who always said, if I never played a sport professionally, then I want to talk about it. I'm born and raised in New York City. Played organized basketball for several well-known teams in the mid-'70s and the early '80s, such as the legendary Home Cold Rucker Tournament, Melbank, Stone Gym and Riverside Church, LaGuardia House, and my all-time favorite, Each One Teach One. Having sports in my life at an early age always kept me out of trouble. If I wasn't playing basketball, I was either playing football or baseball. Hey sports fans, this is Straight from the Basement with Tommy Ommy, where my opinions, views, and facts will cover the hottest, the latest, and the past sports events. Welcome. Once again, I want to continue to thank everyone who has liked and subscribed to my podcast. And if this is the first time you're viewing it, please do the same. No hot topics for this one. Listen, let's get straight to the topic. I'm talking about Canelo versus Crawford. Canelo versus Crawford. Listen, sports fans, we've been waiting. We only been waiting for several years for this Canelo-Crawford fight. And no need for me to even get into when they were supposed to fight. Because this is a waste of my time. This fight was supposed to been happen. September 13th, this Saturday coming. Oh, I can't wait. And I'm quite sure the whole boxing world can't wait. Listen. I got so much I want to say, but I'm going to hold it back. You guys know how I feel about boxing. I told you on my last episode, UFC Takeover episode, how I felt about boxing the last 20 years. This Crawford and Canelo fight, September 13th. And listen, the boxing as a sport need this fight. I mean, they need it like a savior, a survival fight. This is the way I'm looking at it. This is like a survival fight for the boxing, for the professional sport of boxing. As you can see, I'm amped. Because, my feelings about boxing is like, you guys already know that. So, I'm praying that we get to see a fight, that we get to see a 12-round fight of nonstop action. If they could give me, Tommy Ommy, 6 great, and I'm talking about 6 great rounds, I'll be happy. So for this episode, I will be interviewing my dude. Yeah, no stranger to this show. He works for both Dante's Boxing Nation. I'm talking about Javante Davis, that is, and AKHI TV, who's affiliated with each other. I'm talking about my guy, Brian Torella. How you doing, Brian? What's up, my dude?
Man, first of all, I just want to say, man, I'm really happy that you're having me on the show, Tommy Ommy. This is the biggest sports show that's coming up today. So I'm really happy to be here, and I'm grateful. Getting ready to talk about this big fight next week.
Oh, yeah. Well, I always appreciate you. I know I can always count on you because, listen, y'all, I know you are straight up. I know you are straight up. You straight up with your sports. And that's why, y'all, he's not a stranger to this show, right? But this dude actually works in the sport of professional boxing. So we got the Canelo and the Crawford fight next week, September 13th. This was like a no-brainer for me to ask this man, can I interview him? And he said yes. So I was like, okay. Because I didn't think he was going to say yes. I had my reasons, not because he disliked me. I just didn't think he was gonna be able to, because who he works for. But he said yes, and so yes, here we are right now. Listen, I got several questions regarding your insight. I need your insight, right, on the world of professional boxing and the big fight itself next week. This is the reason why this show is going down right now. We recording because we need to drop this next Friday, because next Saturday, my God, listen, the world's been waiting for this fight for I don't know how many years, or maybe a good 3-4 years, right? And like I said earlier in the show, right? No need to get into who wanted to fight who at what time. It just never happened. Now it's getting ready to happen. And here we are, September 7th, recording this show. September 13th, the big fight. Listen, I could go on and on. As you can see, I'm excited. I got 8 questions from my dude, Brian Torella. You know what I'm saying? And I know he's going to give me the meat and potatoes with the cranberry sauce. Yes, it's 2 months prior. I know Thanksgiving's in 2 months, but yeah, I got the cranberry sauce on the brain. So, Brian, you ready for me?
I'm ready. Let's go, Tommy.
All right. First question. Can you please tell the viewers what do you do at both Dante's Boxing Nation and AKHI TV? Please explain.
Okay, so with Tante's Boxing Nation and Aki TV, what they do is they are channels on YouTube, boxing channels. So everybody, please go over there and check out their channels if you want all your boxing news up to date, and everything going on with boxing. So I work for them, and they send me out to fights, they send me out to weigh-ins, they send me out to press conferences, and I go there to interview all of the particulars involved as far as the boxers, the boxers on the undercard, and then I also interview some boxers that are not fighting as well, like legends and things like that. So I've interviewed Steven Espinoza, who works
Okay.
for PBC, that's on Prime Time on Prime Amazon Prime TV.
Right.
So he's the one that sets up all the fights over there. I have a one-on-one with him. I have a
Okay.
one-on-one with Jim Lampley. Everybody knows who Jim Lampley is.
Oh, Jim was just, I'm sorry for cutting you. He was just on my brain because I'm watching fights last night on pay-per-view, and one of the announced guys who was commentating the game, I said, yo, he sounds like Jim, but I know it ain't Jim. Go ahead, man, keep
Yeah.
talking.
I also had a one-on-one interview with Shannon Briggs, the big heavyweight back in the day.
Yeah,
So you can
Briggs.
check all those out. But also, I covered the last Tank Davis fight with Roach, with Lamont Roach over at Barclays Center. So I sat there and asked questions to Gary Russell, Teofimo Lopez, Richardson Hitchens, Roy Jones Jr., Ryan Garcia, Eddie Hearn. All the names involved in these
Yeah,
type of
yeah,
fights.
yeah. Okay. So you doing big things, man. With this next career you got going on. I'm so happy for you. I remember when you first started. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and, and I was like, wow. I said, okay, my man B, he looking at the future very
Yeah.
closely.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, yeah. So that's all good. That's all good. All right. Well, listen, my second question to you is this. How old were you when you first started getting into watching professional boxing? And how do you feel about the sport now?
Well, I'll say I remember. Well, first I have to thank my father, Carlos Torella.
Okay.
He's the one that I remember sitting down by his knee and watching the fights, even before I understood what was going on. I remember hearing the Ali fights in the background as I run around and play. So my father was a big boxing fan, watched all the big fights. So after the years and years go by, you start sitting down a little longer and you start understanding what's going on.
Right.
So I pretty much came up around the time of Sugar Ray Leonard and Hearns and Duran, Wilfred Benitez, Hagler, and I really started getting into boxing then. So I would say I was maybe 8, 9 years old, maybe even a little earlier.
Okay.
Um, And then when I really got into boxing was when Mike Tyson came onto the scene. That's when
Yeah.
I really, really understood what was going on, all of the politics and everything that was going on. And of course, Mike Tyson was the man. You know, he
Yeah.
was boxing. And then I would say, you're not really a boxing fan until you feel the black eyes of it. So I remember the first corruption that I seen was when Richard Steele, the referee, stopped the fight with Julio Cesar Chavez and Meldrick Taylor
Yeah, I
with three
remember that.
seconds left in the fight, and Meldrick Taylor was winning the fight. All you had to do was let it go 3 more seconds, and he won the decision, and he called it a knockout because he went down and got up.
I
And I
remember
was
that.
yeah, so you know that really cemented me into side boxing.
Well, listen, I wanted to know the reason why I asked you question number two, because here's question number three. Before I ask you question number three, I
Mhm.
asked you that how you feel about the sport because professional boxing, the viewership has declined drastically for at least the last 20 years. And I talked about that some on my UFC takeover show a few shows ago. So, question, what do you think needs to be done in order for American boxing fans to start watching again? Talk to me.
And that's the key part of your question. You said American boxing fans because the decline is mostly in America, which is the biggest place that you could have boxing. We have the Mecca, which is the Garden, and we have all Las Vegas. So we host the big fights. So the decline is here in America. You're right, but I would like to say that boxing is as big as ever in places like England, Ireland, Eastern Europe. Those places packed out for their fighters.
Yeah.
Very big over there, and also in South America as well. Mexico, very big over there. But you're right. There is a decline overall in boxing, and I think the reason for that is too many belts. First of all, every division has 4 belts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, it started with one, then it went to two in the '80s, then it went to three in the late '80s, and then it went to four in the '90s, in the late '90s. And so not only do you have those 4 belts, then you have offshoots to those belts, like international and diamond belts. And so it feels like everybody has a belt. So when everybody's a champion, nobody's a champion. When you're the public and you're not a hardcore boxing fan, you don't really understand everybody got a belt. So you don't feel the bigness of the event anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's one thing. Another thing is a lot of fighters when they get to a particular point in their career of success, they want to start now picking fighters who they think they're
Yeah.
going to be instead of want to fight the best. You know, and that's also caused a major decline in the sport.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know you can go on and on with other reasons, you know. And like I said in my UFC takeover show, boxing was the sport back in the 70s, when the Ollie's and the Joe Frazier's and them was going at it with the Ken Nortons and the Foreman. Boxing was boxing. Yeah, baseball is American past, but I'm talking boxing as a global. Boxing was boxing.
Yes.
But our American boxing fans is just been not even being interested. I don't know if it's because it went over to pay-per-view, and then when it left ESPN and went over to pay-per-view, now you gotta pay for every fight, and then you
Yeah.
got fighters, you got big main events, everybody punching 80, $90, whatever it is. And you only out of 12 rounds, you only get to see a good 3 rounds that they really go at it. So I think for it, the decline is for many reasons, but
Yeah. If you remember in the '80s, in the '70s, you will a lot of our fighters will go to the Olympics and win gold medals, and that would
right,
begin their story to the Americans.
right,
Americans will feel pride about the gold medals,
yeah,
and they will come in as big names like Sugar Ray Leonard and Holyfield and these guys. They would come in to the pro ranks with a name already.
right, exactly,
Right. So boxing is more about the story for the fans.
yeah,
Especially the casual fans. They need that story. They need the background.
right,
And we
right,
kind of fell off a little bit in the Olympics as well. And
yeah.
like you said, the pay-per-views is too much, especially if you have two big fights in a month. A lot of people not gonna pay for two pay-per-views
Nah,
in one
they're
month.
not. They're not. Because and before I ask you question number four, with the pay per views, with the undercards, the fights before the main event, most of the time the fights before the main event is better than the main event. And I'm going to leave it like that because I could go left. I'm going to leave it like that. Yeah, thank you for question number 3, Brian. Question number 4. Before I ask you the question, most of Canelo Alvarez's significant recent and career-defining fights have been in the super middleweight. That's that 168-pound class division. The top 5 the top 5 super middleweight boxers of all time include Joe Cazazi, Roy Jones Jr., Andre Ward, Canelo Alvarez himself, and you can either pick one or two, either Nigel Benn or Carl Froch. Right? Question: where do you think Canelo Alvarez is ranked in this group?
Oh, wow. Oof, 168. I mean, you said some names there. First of all, Roy.
Right?
That's got to be number one on the
Number one.
list.
All right.
That's to be number one on the list there. If you remember in the early 2010s, they had a super middleweight tournament, in which Andre Ward won.
I remember that.
Yes, Andre Ward won that tournament against Carl Froch.
Right.
So due to that, and he beat a very good champions in that tournament. So due to that, I'll probably put him second.
All right, Andre second. Okay.
I'll probably go Joe Calzaghe third.
Joe Cazazi third.
Yeah, because he has some very impressive wins. He also beat Roy Jones and Hopkins, even though they were at the late stages of their career.
Yeah.
But I remember that he beat the undefeated American Jeff Left Hook Lacey in a very big fight. So he cemented himself with that. Bernard Hopkins. I will have to put Bernard, even though he did most of his fighting at 160, he did move up to 168 and had some big wins over there. I think I would put Canelo around that area with Hopkins, because Hopkins wasn't there for too long. But you also have to mention Nigel Benn, like you said, Carl Froch,
Right.
and also the Crusher Kovalev, Sergey Kovalev, who gave Andre Ward 2 good fights. So I would think those were the best super middleweights.
Okay. All right. So going by your responses, Canelo, he remains in that top 5. Okay.
Yeah, I'll put him in the top 5.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's what I want to hear. That's what I wanted to know. Okay. So I want to move on to question number 5. And before I even ask you the question, Terrence Crawford's fight have been in the light welterweight, and light middleweight classes. Yeah, he's been bouncing. But he is most dominant and well known in the welterweight division. Most people know that, where he became an undisputed champion. Now, in the welterweight division, top 5 of all times, is considered Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather Jr., and Roberto Duran. Plus, you got to include Thomas Hitman Hearns in that. So my question to you, Brian, is this: where do you rank Terrence Crawford in this group, or do you? Please explain.
He's definitely in a group. But now we're talking about welterweights. Welterweights go deep. Go deep. I mean, it's a glamour division. It goes over 100 years back. You have some great champions, and it's hard for me to rank Crawford, solidify Crawford, because he hasn't finished his career yet.
Right.
Not only that, the fight that he's going to be fighting at against Canelo next is not going to be at welterweight. But he does have some great wins in welterweight, as far as Errol Spence, for sure, Kell Brook, Sean Porter. Great wins at welterweight. But like you said, the top guys at welterweight, I'm gonna name some names because it's hard to rank them. Like you said, Sugar Ray Robinson, you guys, Sugar Ray Leonard, Hearns, Pac-Man,
Right.
Pacquiao, Roberto Duran. You mentioned. I don't think I would put him in the top there at welterweight, because he lost a lot of his big fights at welterweight. He is the best. Duran is the best lightweight of all time. That's for sure.
Okay.
But when he moved up to welterweight, he lost a lot of his big fights there, so I wouldn't put him in the top tier. You also have De La Hoya. You have to mention. You have Henry Armstrong, Jose Napales, Pernell Whitaker, Miguel Cotto, Felix Trinidad, Wilfred Benitez. So right now, I'll put Crawford in the middle of that pack,
Okay, okay.
and with a chance to rise. But I don't know if he's going back to welterweight, so it's hard to say.
Well, listen, I know you was gonna give me the meat and potatoes. I just learned something. So listen, I got and listen, y'all. I told you I got the right man for this show. We
I'm
getting
gonna give
ready.
it to you. Keep them coming.
Yeah,
Keep them coming.
yeah. We getting ready for next week, y'all. September 13th, big fight, Canelo versus Crawford. Well, my sixth question, Brian, is this. Before I ask you the question, Canelo Alvarez has fought and defeated multiple opponents who were ranked in the top 10, including Miguel Cotto, what's my man? Gulugavin,
Golovkin.
right, Golovkin, yeah, excuse me with the name, y'all. Calum Smith, Calum Smith, excuse me, and Sergi, right? Of whom were highly regarded at the time their losses to Canelo. So Canelo beat them all. So my question to you is this. What chance do you give Canelo Alvarez to win this fight against Crawford? Talk to me.
I give Canelo a very good chance. The main reason is because of size. Crawford is moving up a couple of divisions to fight him. Crawford started at lightweight, which is 135. He'll be fighting at 168 when he fights Canelo. So this is a big jump for him. Most of the people who give Canelo a chance in this fight say it's due to the size. Everybody recognizes the fact that if they were the same size, naturally, that it would be Crawford all day long because
Right.
Crawford has the skills that pay the bills.
Uh-huh.
But Canelo, like you said, he's impressive as far as winning. I go a little bit more deeper into his resume. Like when he beat Cotto, he made Cotto come up in weight to beat him. He beat Amir Khan. He made Amir Khan come up in weight. So he's not really when he's fighting the top guys. They're either coming up in weight or they're past their prime. So he does have some good fights. But I'm gonna name his last few fights that he had. His last fight was a guy named Skull. Nobody really heard of him before. He got that win. Before that, he fought Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga is not seen as a top fighter. He got knocked out in his last fight.
Okay.
Before that, he fought a guy named Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia also got knocked out recently, so that he's not really that impressive. He beat Jamel Charlo, the lighter weighing of the twins.
Right. I remember that fight.
Yeah,
Yep.
he made him come up in
Uh-huh.
weight to fight him. He fought a guy named Ryder. Nobody really heard of. Caleb Plant was a decent. Caleb Plant was in his prime and fought him in his division, which is good win. Billy Joe Saunders, nobody really heard of him. He fought a guy named Yadirum, nobody really heard of him. And then when he fought Bivol, Dimitri Bivol, he lost to Dimitri Bivol at the 168 pounds. So I'm not really as impressed with Canelo as a lot of people are, also due to the fact that Canelo was caught at one time in his career taking steroids.
Yeah.
His camp, his trainer, and the whole camp has a litany of people who have tested positive. So they got some funny business going over there. But Canelo's a winner, and he's strong. He hits hard, and he's going to bring the fight to Crawford. He's not going to lay down, so that's what's going to make it a good fight.
Yeah, listen, y'all, he's giving us the meat and potatoes. And listen, Canelo, every time I see him, he looks like he's getting bigger. And those punches, yeah, it's going. I'm praying, Brian, that in this 12-round fight that we at least get a good 6 rockin' sockin' robot top. I know I'm going back with the kitty toy, but I want to see some blows, right? I want to see the replay, the slow motion, right? I want 6 great rounds out of this 12, because most boxers when they fighting each other for the first time, they got to feel each other out.
Yeah.
Take them about maybe the 4th round. You get a little something, right? Before you know it, the fight is over.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, we don't want that. We don't want that. I just wanted to bring that up because that's always a pet peeve of mine when you got these big fights and everybody get hyped for it. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so. This is going to be a fight, and I'm praying and hoping. I think this is going to be fight number one. I think we may see three fights out of these dudes, depending on how it goes down. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's just on my brain. Listen, I can. Yeah, it could happen. Yeah. So listen, thank you for question number 6. Question number 7. Terrence Crawford has fought several opponents who were highly ranked, including Errol Smith Jr., Sean Porter Jr., and Cal Brook. Crawford beat them all. My question to you, Brian, is this. What chance do you give Terrence Crawford to win this fight? Talk to me.
I give Terrence Crawford a very good chance, due to the fact of his mentality. His mentality is a type of mentality that Canelo hasn't fought since maybe Mayweather. That I'm not going to lose no matter what happens in this ring,
Right?
and he has the skills to back that up. Now, the only thing that I worry with him for in this fight is can he take Canelo's punches? You know, if Canelo is going to pressure him and hit him to the arms and tire his arms
Yeah.
out, get him
Yeah.
to the body. It can't. Crawford is about 36, going on 37 now. So he may not have the legs that he used to have. So is he going to be able to move for 12 rounds and not stand stationary to let Canelo get those shots off? But Crawford in the southpaw stance, the way he uses his right hand in the southpaw stance is magnificent. I mean, what he does with it, he'll jab you, and then when you looking for the jab, he'll hook it or he'll come with an uppercut with it, and it's right in
Okay.
front of your face in the southpaw stance, and he got a lot of power. As a matter of fact, that's how he beat Errol Spence, just with that one hand alone, basically.
Yeah,
And
remember
then
that.
yeah, and he was just killing them with jabs, the right hook and the uppercut, and he hits hard with that shot. And so if you see when Crawford goes into that southpaw stance, he is very dangerous with that. And Canelo really doesn't have the greatest defense. He has good movement from his hips, so he dips, but he doesn't have good feet. So Crawford could move and put him in positions and then land his shots the way he wants to land them on Canelo. So I give Crawford a very good shot, and I think he'll win the fight, actually.
Okay, well, that was my last question. You just said it. You got Crawford winning this fight.
Yeah.
Okay, and you just basically explained why. Because, well, see, with Canelo, his punching power, you're right about. He loved hitting those arms.
Yeah.
He loved hitting those arms and tied those arms out. He is famous for that. And I believe Crawford knows that, and so he gonna make sure that doesn't happen too frequently. You know what I'm saying? I truly believe that. That southpaw, that Errol Smith fight, I remember that fight. I actually had Errol Smith winning that
Thanks.
fight. You know what I'm saying? I had him winning that fight. You know what I'm saying? But the whipping he put on Errol Smith Spence, excuse me.
Thanks.
The
Yeah.
right, the whipping he put on Errol Spence, it was I was embarrassed for him. You know what I'm
Man.
saying? Because I remember that fight night, fellas looking at me. It was a few others who went with Spence. They be looking at each other like, yo, this is not how this shit's supposed to go down. Crawford is making him look real bad. My
Real bad.
God. He couldn't even ask for a second fight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how bad it was. So I'm hoping and praying that we get at least 2, 3 fights out of these guys because the boxing world needs it.
Well, the thing with Crawford is that he's a wrestler by nature. He used to wrestle coming up through high school and things like that. So he's wiry strong. Like you'll see him and he looks skinny. Like everybody thought that Errol Spence would push him around because Errol Spence looked bigger and
Right?
more muscular, but Crawford was actually stronger, pushing Errol Spence around and hurting him with shots. Um, so I think Canelo's going to be very surprised by Crawford's strength in there. He's not going to be the little guy that he think he is. And the problem that I see with people who come in to fight Crawford is that you can't be cocky coming in there with Crawford.
No, you can't.
Canelo, you can't come in there saying I'm going to beat him because I'm Canelo. This is not going to happen. That's not. You have to go in there. You have to humble yourself and say I'm in here for a dirt fight with this guy, a mud fight, and that's how Sean Porter approached the fight, and that's why I thought Sean Porter was winning until he got knocked out. He said, I'm not in here thinking that it's going to be sweet. So Canelo, he better not go in there thinking, oh, I'm the big guy. I'm gonna hit him a few times, have him scared, and then knock him out late. It's not gonna go down like that. You want to see a big fight, Tommy Ommy, and you're gonna see a good fight. These guys are gonna go at it, especially if Canelo feels like he's losing the fight and he needs to come at Crawford. It's gonna be fireworks. Trust me.
And we praying. We are all praying for that,
Right.
Brian. We are all praying for that. I
Yes.
want to thank you very much for saying yes to this interview. I appreciate you so much as always. Keep doing your thing with Dante's Boxing Nation. Javante Davis, that is, y'all. And AKHI TV. Thank you so much, Brian. Appreciate you, man.
Anytime, Tommy Ommy. Anytime you need me, I'm coming through.
I appreciate you. So, I want to thank y'all for hanging out with me in my basement. To my viewers and to my listeners, please continue to check me out on my YouTube and subscribe. Check me out on my streaming platform, Spotify, y'all. Yes, I'm live. I'm TikTok live. Sunday nights at 8 p.m. now. Also, Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. We're going to try something new. But I want to also, please remember to check out the Even Flow Coffee Company, created to combine the interests of coffee lovers, fashion, and music. And for more information or to make a purchase, visit evenflowcoffee.com. As I always say, sports is what keeps this world from going insane, either in a pandemic or no pandemic. Until next time, y'all take care.